In my last Revue Starlight video, I talked about the role of the top star in a theater, and how she serves as the golden standard every performer aspires to be. Most of the girls watch in awe from beneath her, wishing they could have that same talent, but knowing that they lack the natural ability or discipline to achieve such a high standard. But in today's video, we're going to take a look at one member of Seisho's 99th class who is so taken by the idea of becoming the top star that she devotes every moment of her life to working towards that goal. Her work ethic and perseverance is admirable until you realize how easily her obsession can grow out of control and overtake her. This is the cautionary tale of Junna Hoshimi. We meet Junna in episode 1 of the Revue Starlight anime, and we know from her first appearance how dedicated she is, as she is the first person to enter the classroom after Karin and Mahiru. At the end of the episode, Hikari and Junna battle in a revue, and Junna displays the results of her hard work as she easily corners Hikari. But before she can deliver the final blow, Karin accidentally discovers the auditions and reminds her who the protagonist is as she jumps into the battle to save Hikari. With that, Karin defeats Junna and enters the auditions. In episode 2, as Karin processes everything that happened the next morning, Junna goes out for a run way earlier than the rest of her classmates. At school, Karin tries to ask Hikari about the auditions, who remains cold and doesn't discuss it further, and she tries to ask Junna about it, who also treats her coldly and warns her not to break the rules. Karin is out of luck as they both continue to give her the silent treatment, and she struggles throughout their daily lessons to keep up with the other students. Meanwhile, Junna practices tirelessly through lunch, and it seems like she's gotten even more demanding on herself and on her classmates. This becomes more apparent during their dance class. While Karin and the other students admire Maya and Claudine's talent, Junna scolds the rest of her classmates for their idle admiration, telling them to get out if they're just going to watch from the sidelines rather than put in the work to become the top stars themselves. The teacher tells Junna to stop being such a tryhard, and she is forced to pair up with Karin while they practice their swing dance. Karin takes the opportunity to ask Junna about the auditions, but it turns out this only makes things worse, as she is furious to discover that Karin wasn't even invited to the auditions. She insists that this is unfair, and Karin doesn't deserve to be in the auditions because she doesn't take them as seriously as Junna does. Karin is unable to make amends with Junna before she suddenly collapses from exhaustion after forcing herself to practice all day. As Junna rests in the nurse's office, Karin and Hikari speak in private about the auditions. Hikari insists Karin can't join the auditions as she doesn't have enough shine, but Karin says that Junna's perseverance has inspired her to take Maya and Claudine's places so that she and Hikari can be top stars together. Junna then wakes up in bed with Nana watching over her, and she shares with Nana her newfound determination to become her own star in the auditions. The ever-omniscient giraffe knows that now is the perfect time to begin the next round of auditions, with Karin and Junna competing in the Revue of Desire. Karin's introduction reaffirms her newfound desire to become the top star with Hikari, while Junna explains her belief that everyone has their own star, and by winning the auditions, she will finally obtain hers. Junna sees this as her second chance against Karin, and warns her that she won't let her get in the way of achieving her fate as the lead role. The music ramps up in intensity as giant structures rise up from the darkness of the stage, only to suddenly quiet as Junna begins her verse. She enters from behind a set of curtains, singing about how the desire to become the top star has consumed her to the point of no return. Junna uses the array of mirrors around her to stay hidden and catch Karin off guard. Amid a horde of mannequins, Junna creeps out to fire shots from the shadows. Most people underestimate Junna as she lacks the natural talent that Maya and Claudine have, but she is determined to rise above the limitations of being an average student and slowly but surely prove everyone wrong. Just like Karin, Junna explains how she was reborn as a stage girl when she saw the talent of Maya and Claudine, but laments that no matter how hard she worked, she could never reach them. The music crescendos to a higher intensity as Junna continues to chase Karin around the set, faking her out with mannequins as arrows fly towards her. The instrumentals then quiet down for a moment as Karin and Junna sing together in a beautiful duet that lays their vocals over one another perfectly. Junna sings about how she must win the auditions to prove to everyone that she's worthy of their attention, and how Karin would never understand her desire, while Karin tries to assure her that she doesn't have to be the best to still be a talented performer. Junna distracts Karin with cannons that spray glitter, representing her goal to overwhelm all of her classmates with her brilliance, and she attacks Karin head-on. As they continue to belt out their resolutions to become the top star, the structure behind them crashes down, causing the stage to become dark. For a moment, Karin is shrouded in shadow as Junna finally has the spotlight to herself, but this victorious moment is ironically scored by a mournful sounding violin. In reality, Junna's admirable desire to work hard to achieve her goals has spiraled out of control into obsession, and she won't allow herself to fail no matter how much she has to sacrifice. Karin reminds Junna that this isn't true, and that every moment she takes the stage is a new opportunity to improve herself. She doesn't always have to have a perfect performance to be a stage girl, and her passion to be the top star should motivate her rather than weigh her down. Karin and Junna charge at each other as Karin closes closes out the song, and she manages to slice her sword through Junna's coat and win the Revue. Even as Karin celebrates her victory, the music remains ominous, and we see that Hikari can't sleep because she's worrying about Karin. For now, we won't know why, but instead of watching the ending theme, we get a special scene between Karin and Junna after the Revue. Karin reaches beneath a pile of curtains to see Junna feeling sorry about her loss, but she assures her that she did a great job in the Revue. In contrast to Claudine and Maya, who now have their relationship fractured after Maya's victory in the Revue, Karin and Junna exchange friendly conversation about their determination to not give up even in the face of failure and become top stars. Like many of the stage girls Karin fights, while Junna has lost the Revue, she ends up learning a valuable lesson about ambition and the danger of being too hard on yourself. I think this lesson is what makes Junna such a likable and relatable character in Revue Starlight. The arts are an especially competitive field to participate in, and it's easy to base your own feelings of success and accomplishment on the abilities of others. I know I'm prone to seeing artwork on Instagram or listening to other people's music on YouTube and immediately comparing their products to my own before I decide to just quit the internet because I'm so terrible at everything. As Junna shows us, this isn't a healthy cycle to be in, and the best way to measure your own success is by comparing yourself now to the person you were in the past. And even if you feel like you haven't improved as much as you should have, the important thing is that you try again when faced with failure. The Revue of Desire has an amazing song with beautiful choreography and visuals, and its inspiring message is what makes it stick with viewers. I hope you all like this analysis. Check out my videos on the Revue of Solitude and the Revue of Pride if you want to see more Revue Starlight content. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!